Welcome back. So this is the second part of the lecture on painting, and when I ended the last part I said, and I will be sure to talk about, and then I just ended it right there. That was not purposeful, but it was, it works as a cliffhanger. What was he going to say next? So I was going to talk more about tempera, and also talk about tempera in the 20th century, but then also talk about how the critical role that egg tempera played in the development of oil painting. So, as I said, tempera has been used as a 20th century material, and I think the works by Andrew Wyeth are probably some of the most famous egg tempera paintings made in the 20th century, and they really show you some of the things that can be done with egg tempera. Let's go back just for 1 second. One of the things about egg tempera is because it dries really fast, you see this really soft tone. It looks very soft, but if you got up close to it, you would realize it's made up of lots of very fine hatching marks. And the reason is because with egg tempera you can't blend, right? And it doesn't stay wet for very long. You can't even kind of push one color into another color. You pretty much just have to overlay the colors one on top of each other in these kind of fine hatching type marks. But it can lead to, like, if the goal of your painting is this very kind of textural sort of surface, it can be very successful. But the other thing about oil painting is that, or about egg tempera painting, is that in some way, and we're still, the actual certainty of how this happened, which person was most responsible for this, is unclear. We're pretty sure that Jan van Eyck was right there at the time. This is a portrait of Jan van Eyck right here. And this is a painting by the Van Eyck brothers. And before that period with the Van Eycks, painting in northern Renaissance Europe was dominated by egg tempera paintings on panel. But what the northern artists were doing was they were making lots of varnishes on the surface of these egg tempera paintings. So this is essentially an egg tempera painting, but with numerous layers of oil varnish, including some varnishes that had color to them to add a deeper, richer color to certain areas. And it's a very, it's a small step from that to actually making varnishes that become their own paint. But the thing, and we'll talk about this more when I cover oil painting in more depth, but the thing that makes oil painting different from any of the other mediums before is that in oil painting you can't just simply mix the pigment in with the oil. It won't disperse, so you can't have any kind of solution. What you have to do is you have to grind the paint into the oil. You have to use like a mortar and pestle and really put a whole lot of pressure to grind the pigments into the oil and to get them to sort of molecularly bond and to make a true solution, and then you make paint that will actually stay paint forever. But it comes out of this tradition, out of egg tempera. In fact, almost certainly on a panel like this there was probably starting layers that were done in tempera. Okay, that is the end of the lecture on oil painting, and we will talk about this painting maybe a little bit more on another day, but for right now I just wanted to show you some images to give you a sense of just how many people have made artwork over the years that is kind of influenced by the Arnolfini wedding portrait by Jan van Eyck. And okay, that'll be the end of this part.